Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to This Will Be Named Later, a podcast about content creators, the creative culture, if you will. Now, this is a part where I act all professional and tell you what the podcast is about, but I'm not really good at being professional, so let's just keep it a buck. And like I said, we talk about creators from all walks of life, from all mediums, modders, podcasters, video content creators, vloggers, bloggers, everybody in between. But more specifically at this juncture, we're talking about wrestling creators because a lot of us are underserved in the wrestling community, but there's a lot of us creating content and a lot of content that needs to be consumed, that needs to be known about, and needs to be discussed, distributed, and brought forth into a bigger light. So I hope that with this podcast, we can do that and shine a light on some of these people that are making dope ass stuff for the wrestling community. And now a word from our sponsor.
OCWFED is a hybrid pro wrestling e-fed that combines elements of role play and competitive play using the WWE 2K franchise. Whether you're on PlayStation or Xbox, OCWFED is a creative outlet for gamers and pro wrestling fans alike. With over 16 years experience producing weekly content and live Twitch events, OCWFED has a thriving community with handlers from all over the world. If this sounds like your cup of tea, come check us out at OCWFed.com, OCWFedTV on YouTube, and OCWFed on Twitch. It's like D&D for wrestling nerds.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is Leeboy733, aka LeeboyTV. He is a content creator, he is a YouTuber, he is a native New Yorker by the way of the Brooklyn Zoo. This was a dope conversation by all stretches of the imagination, one of the most fun podcasts I've ever had the privilege of doing. I'll leave it at that. This is going on T.W.B.N.L. This will be named later because you listen to it right now. You hear the beat, you hear the Eddie Murphy in the background, so you know what's good. So sit back, relax, pop a cold one, enjoy yourself. It's time for some podcast action.
Reactor online, sensors online, weapons online, all systems nominal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the podcast. This will be named later. Either way, my guest today is a YouTuber. He puts out really fucking dope content, and I just happened to see it, and I'm like, let me holler at this man. He makes crispy content, dulcet tones, and he's about his business. It is LeeboyTV, aka Leeboy733. I didn't mess that up, right?
You messed it up. You got to hit it right on the nail. Leeboy733 is my social media tag. So if anybody want to hit me up on social media, Instagram or Twitter, I don't really mess with Facebook too much. I'm on there. Same thing.
There you go.
But it's Leeboy733. But for YouTube, LeeboyTV.
So yeah, so I have my notes here, and Leeboy is a fellow New Yorker. So you know what it is? I'm gonna tell you why. Like, I was like, let me speak to this dude. So YouTube, when you log in, like I log into my channel like 9 times a day because I'm weird, and it always gives me my referred, like it puts up little videos. So one of the videos that I saw recently was from your channel. It was your podcast. Like, oh shit, let me, because the thumbnail looks crisp, and it's something about certain thumbnails. Like, oh, you know what? Let me see what's up. So I clicked on the thumbnail. Like, I've been here before. Now I've been here a couple times, but you just kind of, all these people, you kind of lose track of stuff. So I put on the podcast. I'm listening to you talk. I'm like, all right, this, you don't sound like a weirdo. This is good. And then you mentioned something about a book. Yeah, was it the Red Book? I believe you called the Red Book.
I call it the Red Book, yeah, because I like to keep things. The one thing I stress to everybody when they ask me about, like, how do you get into this, and I'll tell them, because you're going to be constantly creating content, you need to be organized. You don't want to be all over the place. You should be able to get to what you need to get to quickly and efficiently as possible.
Yes.
So that's why I carry around a Red Book. That's basically a redundancy. It's everything that I would do on my Excel spreadsheet, but done in book form, because I'm always on the go and I'm always moving. I work, I got a family and stuff like that, so I can't constantly be sitting in front of a computer. So when things hit me or when I need to adjust things, I adjust it in that Red Book, and then I go on my computer later on and I do the adjustments there.
See, it's that meticulousness. So he mentioned the Red Book because Lee runs is the adequate term? Is it a CAW universe? Is it universe mode? Because everybody has a different connotation when they call what they do. But essentially right now what you have is this whole universe that you handcrafted for the most part, and then I believe you allow people, like, if they want to join, they can hit you up. But That's more or less correct, right? I fucked that up or no?
Yeah, no, you got that correct. It's a CAW universe. I know how I normally I don't know what the standard is for everyone else, but
I
know
don't
for
either.
Me, when it comes down to CAW wrestling, the keyword is CAW, create a wrestler, meaning that somebody sat down, created a wrestler from scratch that's not part of any organization, you know, and they put it in their own little league, or even inside of the WWE or whatever atmosphere they want to put it in. But it's a CAW wrestler because he's a creator. He's not like somebody who's well known. Like you could make a Kenny Omega or somebody's from another company. Is that a CAW? I think not. I just think you're now just making an actual wrestler instead of making what I would say a CAW is a created wrestler who has no affiliation or ties to really anything that's tied down to real life. If that makes sense to you, you know what I mean?
Nah, it makes perfect sense. So I saw the meticulousness. I heard this dude. I started watching more and more videos. Like, I've seen this like a couple of times, because when I hit you up, I was like, I've been a fan for whatever. And it's just like, because there's so much content to consume, you really can't consume it all. But I peruse a little bit, and I just been going through the videos, and I'm like, this is basically, without trying to sound like a kiss ass, because there's too many people doing this shit, like, you need to be, like, they need to be more people prominently posting your shit. And I'm saying that because I have to be in the CAW universe, because what I do is I run a league where people, they make their CAWs and then they fight each other in the game, and it's hectic. So that's my cross to bear. I've been running that for, like, you know, since the dawn of time. But you're like, I see a lot of.
Let me ask this real quick, just to flip it real quick. So you run a league where you actually had people playing, literally playing against each other.
Yep.
That's dope, and that's kind of hard to manage too. Yep. I can imagine the pain because you got to worry about, you know, who to go over, who to lose, who wins.
No, that's the thing. That it's not even who, it's comp, son. So if you are trash at the game, and you, like, the balance that we have is basically based upon, like, where we're at, where my spot OCW, you can get to the top of the mid tier if you're not really good at the game, but it takes long because you have to, like, craft those stories and get maybe a couple of pivotal wins or whatever. But if you're good on the mic, if you're good on the mic, if you can write or do your videos good, and if you're actually good at the game, then it kind of helps you better because you're the more the complete package. And, like, it is stressful. It's not just me. The other reason I hit you up is because you're like, I'm on break because I need my 2 weeks to decompress and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, hey, I'm on break too. Season finished last week. I'm off this bitch. I'm good till November 12th or 6th, so you can fuck off. I'm like, cursing too much. I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, so with your spot, like, the basically what I'm trying to say is the quality that you put forward is what kind of, like, got me like, oh shit. And then when I see, like, a lot of these CAW spots, and then I look at them, I'm like, but that's not as crispy as this. So why are they kind of like, you know, is you know what it is? It boils down to, like, this weird popularity contest that always with this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not including this because my thing is completely different from what everybody else does. Like, we just fight each other. So, like, I'm not looking for that, hey, but someone like you, like, they need to, like, see what you're doing because you're doing what's supposed to be done. And it's like, it feels like a Herculean feat because I'm looking at, matter of fact, let me hit my questions because when you first started, you mentioned that you was back, like, with comics, and then you pivoted in 2018. So, not to, like, go through the whole story, but I'm gonna paraphrase it because I watched the video. You basically, like, that it was a lot of work because in your head to do the videos for the comic shit, it's like it's very meticulous, and you wind up, I gotta add this, I gotta add this, and then you're like, oh man, that's kind of crazy. So you pivoted, and you want to extrapolate on that a little bit.
Yeah. The comic book area was toxic, and to make videos
toxic.
It was toxic, man, because, like, I'm a big Flash fan. Like, that's my favorite superhero. And you had people that were trying to tell me as if they knew more about the character than me. Now, mind you, I'm not saying I'm the god of the Flash or something like that. Like, I hated the cat or nothing. But it's just like, I know when somebody don't know what they're talking about. You know, you just could tell when somebody don't know what they're talking about. And the internet, learning it, being on doing the superhero stuff, that was my first foot in the door of YouTube and social media, and being out there as a content creator, learning that you got a voice, but so do they.
Yep.
So you can't really get too mad because everybody's gonna have something to say. And I remember somebody told me who I was, you know, was a YouTuber who right now they kind of large, and they were like, look, just listen, if you try to make something for everybody, you're gonna wind up pleasing nobody.
There you go.
So you're gonna have haters, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have that. You can't make content for everyone. You just can't sit there and try to please everyone, because if you try to please the masses, you're not gonna please no one. And at the end of the day, you wanna be happy with yourself. And I wasn't happy in that space because of the toxicity. So I left it, and I wrote down on my paper, I'm like, I love making videos, I love doing this. So what can I do that makes sense to me? Like, 'cause I feel like if you're going to jump in front of the camera, or if you're going to jump behind the microphone doing YouTube, you better know what you're talking about.
Sure.
Because people going to eat you alive. So
Yeah.
I said, you know, well, I knew what I was doing with the comic books. They couldn't get me on that one. But what else do I know? What's my second favorite thing? I love wrestling. Comic books and wrestling, anime. Anime, they probably got me because I fell off some years, but you know, wrestling and comics, I'm on my game. So I'm like, I bet. So what's the next thing? What's another big thing? What's another big topic? And I was like, video games. And I put the two together. I said, what about wrestling video games? I put that together, and that's how I pivoted from doing the superhero stuff and moving into wrestling video games. I was originally my original idea for CPW was never to have a league. Actually, it was supposed to be a podcast on just wrestling. I was going to talk about WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor. I was going to move into that field and just do a podcast, but I didn't know how to conduct a podcast, so it wound up becoming. That's why I say whenever you see my podcast, like a podcast vidcast, sometimes I like to add video to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just audio. So I didn't know how to do that. But then I said, you know what? I came up with this idea that me and my friends, we always was having our own characters for like WrestleMania, for the N64 WrestleMania 2000. I think that's where it started. We was playing No Revenge and No Mercy and all that.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
But it started there. And then we made our characters. And then from there, fast forwarded to now, when I thought about the transition, I said, yo, why don't I make my own league? And just add my characters and my friends' characters, or characters that I could think of and put in there. And one thing led to another, and that's how CPW started. Critical Pro Wrestling, by the way, y'all. But
that's also a dope ass name too. I'm like, I like that name, because like there's a lot of offshoot names, and I'm not gonna like shit on nobody with their weird ass names, but there's a lot of weird ones. But like Critical Pro, that's I dig that, and it sounds mad placating, but it's the truth. I like, you know, I think
because Critical Pro Wrestling, believe it or not, it was supposed to be
Fire Pro.
No.
Okay.
It was supposed to be something like ECW. Not for nothing, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's where Critical came from. As I was like, I don't want to be extreme. Everybody got extreme in their name.
Yep.
And then I said, what about Critical? I'm like, Critical Pro Wrestling. I bet. And then I had a theme for everything. That's why it's Fever. The main arena is called Fever because Critical Pro Wrestling was supposed to be dealing with like hospital stuff. Like if you watch the very beginning, the very first episode, by the ramp area, there's actually
EMT. Yeah, I saw it.
You know,
that's
so
when you did
like,
the roster roll call, right?
Yeah, the roster roll call. Yeah, and wow, you really did your work, man.
I did my own, because that's what I'm saying. I'm like, because see, like you and a couple other people, I see something like, I want to incorporate some of what they do with what I do. So like when you did that roster roll call, I was like, yo, that looks like, because my problem is I have too many ideas and I don't know how to flesh them out. So
You're Aquarius?
No, Pisces, bro.
Okay.
Fish. That's why fish people are creative. But when you had the thing and you were talking about like, you know, I have so many ideas, and then when I'm done, like, oh, I should have this, I should have did that. I'm like, I know that feeling. Every goddamn video I do. I delete more videos than I put out because I'm like, that's garbage. This is garbage.
You know what I have, just to add on real quick, not to jump off topic, probably still on it, but I have next to me at my computer there's a little mini I guess clipboard, chalkboard, not chalkboard.
Whiteboard?
Like a whiteboard.
Yeah,
like a post-it board. It's really, I'm gonna keep it hood with you guys. It's actually a folder. A blue folder that I pinned to the wall, and I put post-it notes on it.
That's smart.
And what I do is whenever an idea comes to my head, I write it on a post-it note and I throw it on that board. And then when I leave later on, because I'm constantly meticulously going through the game, trying to fix certain things and do certain things with characters and the universe itself, that when I leave and I come back, I may have forgotten that idea. So I refer to my little board that I made over here with the post-it notes, and I take one off and I go, oh, I got to change Aaron Awesome's moveset. Oh, I didn't like the way that looked. I got to change this. I got one right now that says Summer Brawl, which was the latest pay-per-view that had the actual winners written down on it. So that way, when I start the new season, I know who the champs are, and I know that they got to be putting some kind of storyline. You know,
that level. See, that level of meticulousness is what I dig. I don't have that level of meticulousness. My life is to utter chaos, and it's just, I don't know how I've made it this far with this stuff, but it just so happens I have. Because there'll be times at the last second I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna try to render this stupid ass, like we had our final pay-per-view was Endgames last week, so I had this nice little video package, right? I went to render that shit. I went to render it on the day of the show because it doesn't. My computer's a beast. That shit says 6 hours remaining. I was like, God damn it. So what I did is I went to because the thing is, without being meticulous, I do have like plans A through Z. So if that don't work, I'll do this. If this don't work, I'll do that. So I said, you know what? Let me check plan C. And plan C involved me like stitching together some shit for like 40 minutes time and rendering it, and like the show was 5 minutes late on Twitch, and I was like, whatever, but I was able to put an intro that way. So I wish I would be as meticulous as you. I might bust out like a whiteboard or some shit like that, or like a notepad, or a stick folder or something, man. It's crazy.
No, it helps, man. Trust me, it makes things a lot more simpler, and it gets you to where you need to get to in an efficient manner. Trust me, I know how you feel, because when I first started CPW with WWE 2K18,
yeah,
I was everywhere. I was all over the place. I was making, like, for example, my latest episode since coming back, when I took I think I was off for like a year. I think I took a year off or something, or 6 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing things week to week.
Oof.
And that is hard.
No.
And I was like, no, that's something's off about this. And I noticed by doing it week to week, I would get cluttered and backed up. Even now, as efficient as I am, I'm still doing kind of a week to week thing almost, but in a more efficient manner, only because you know how real life is.
Yep.
You know, I got kids, I got a wife, I got a job. You know, a lot of things get in the way. And also things don't go the way you particularly planned it to when you start setting out, because then you get into the game and the game does something crazy, then you're like, man, I ain't want that to happen. You got to re-record footage.
Especially with the game, it's annoying.
Yeah, I'm using 19, by the way, but yeah, just by being meticulous the way I am, just to get back on it, it does help. It does help the messiness. It does, because I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it does help the messiness. It helped me get around my mess.
It's close. Yeah. So let me ask you. So you use the PC, which I rarely ever run into anybody who uses the PC like that, which is probably why it helps with the crispiness. So do you find when you have to make videos, use it, because we still use 19 too, because 19 is a better competitive game and better online and everything. But do you find that using 19 and in conjunction with your PC, that like everything kind of like it's, because on the console to do any kind of thing with videos, it's annoying because it's so fucking slow on the consoles. But do you find on the PC it's a little bit faster, slightly more efficient?
Yes, totally. I feel that the PC, the natural flow of getting it from your TV to your editing program to YouTube is a fluent transition, because I'm doing everything in one space. Everything is done in one area. It's on my computer. I'm playing from my computer, I'm recording from my computer, I'm editing from my computer, I'm uploading from my computer. So everything is a nice even flow. Like for a console, I believe you guys got to do like capture cards and things like that. You got to use a capture card, and then basically you also have to fight with the game itself, because the game on consoles is actually slower. So between the menus and everything. So I was just curious, like if the PC menus and grabbing footage from the well, not grabbing footage, but navigating those like cutscene menus if you have to, if that's necessarily easier on PC. So you just, the cutscene menus load up faster on PC. There you especially go. If you got a beastly PC. Yeah, it definitely, that was one of the pluses of jumping from console to PC for me, especially. And once that happened to me, I didn't look back, But I do have a harder time, let me say this, I do have a harder time trying to get people to join CPW, only because I feel like the majority of the community is on console. Yeah. A lot of them. I'm actually happy to hear that 2K, which they messed up 20.
Of course.
They said they're not even doing 2021.
Yeah, of course.
They're doing 2022. But they have mentioned that one of the biggest outcries, besides bringing back GMO, which would be great, is the fact that they wanted to have a unionized community creation server. So that way, if you make something on Xbox, you can download it on your PlayStation 5.
That is,
you made something on PlayStation 5, you can download it on your Xbox. If you made something from either system, you should be able to download it from your computer. If I made it from my computer, you could download it on your consoles. So they trying to make sure that community for us is open to everybody. No longer would you have to worry about, damn, that PlayStation 5 Goldberg looked fire.
Yo, oh my God, yo,
I wish I had that on my joint,
There's so many of the PS4 creations, because I'm mainly Xbox. I don't compete though. I just right. Hold it together by sheer force of will and hatred. But I noticed that a lot of the really good edits, or not, that's Fire Pro, all the really good cards are on PS4. Like you'll see a bunch of good ones, and then you'll see like a Dick Togo on Xbox. Like, oh, but I want the rest of it. I want the whole ECW package, but it's on PS4 only. Right. So if they actually do manage to get like a unionized service infrastructure between all the consoles, that would be a gigantic boom for like the whole creative business. Speaking of, I want to add to that. As you know, 22 is coming whenever it's coming, but then there's also like a plethora, big word for me, of a bunch of games coming out. Like, are you excited for all the new wrestling games that are potentially coming out? Maybe AEW, the Wrestling Code, whoever the fuck else I forgot, WWE 2K22, etc., etc.
No, I'm very excited for those other new games that are coming out, because we definitely need. That's the one thing in almost anything that you need. You need competition.
Yes.
To push people to do better. Like WWE needed AEW to push themselves to do better instead of that madness that they're doing now. But we definitely needed a new people to show up on the scene for the wrestling community, definitely. So I'm really happy for Wrestling Code. Got me hype. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's the one I'm actually looking at. Like, I'm looking at that way more than looking at AEW. I'm giving them a pass because this is going to be their first game out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Wrestling Code, but I love Wrestling Code. I feel like they might be more inclined to have more creative features and stuff like that. AEW, I don't know what they're doing. I have a gist about what they're doing, but I don't know. To me, the wrestlers are going to be there, but is the creative part going to be there? Because I think that's what I'm mumbling right now.
Don't worry about it.
We make the 2K wrestling games bigger than what they are because of the community.
Yep.
I think the same thing goes for the basketball. Like they struck gold when they said, you know what, let's allow the people to actually be the superstars. And I think that's where the meat and potatoes come from, and what's really holding WWE 2K up. I mean, if you take away the creators, the game is trash.
Pretty much
the same game every year.
Yeah.
We just looking for more cutscenes, more this and more that for us to do and have more freedom to have fun and explore and create the way we want to, because that really is one of the biggest aspects of it. But they want to focus on showcase. They want to focus on towers and all of this other stuff that we don't even care about. I don't care the fight for Golden AJ Styles. Like, come on, man.
I don't give a fuck about a tower. I don't give a fuck about a lollipop, chainsaw, steel chair. Let me build what I want and get the fuck out of my way. That's the problem.
Right.
I suggested, like, cause I went on a bunch of rants during 2K20 because, as a competitive league, we have to kind of roll with everything. So I was like, look, do not buy 2K20. Just wait. We'll see what's up. Maybe it'll get fixed. Some people bought it, some people didn't, and it was like a big old fucking conundrum. But the thing is, I was like, if they just sold the creation and online suite as a separate package, that would most people just opt to that anyway. It's like, fuck it, why not? Because if you take that away, there's like, okay, I get to fucking play Seth Rollins, Messiah. Ugh, I don't give a shit. Like, after a while, that goes boring and dull. The only reason that 19 is still surviving is because people are using, like, the universe mode and the creation suite and everything in between, because those are what people enjoy, those are what people like. That's the only reason. Even now, 19 is still more popular and more expensive than 20, despite 20 having all this other goofy horse shit that nobody cares about. It's very, very fucking strange, and I can't wait. And with the Wrestling Code, I'm excited because, like you said, like, it seems like they kind of get it. And then I did a video on them, and one of the dudes spoke to me. He's like, yo, so hey, some of those things in your video, they're planned. I'm like, yes. So I don't know if I can spoil it.
I gotta check that video out.
Yeah, there's a couple, but most of it is it's just basic shit. But like, you know, it's basic shit that WWE 2K never implemented. So, and as far as AEW goes, you're right. Like, more than likely, there's probably not going to be a deep creation suite, but it might be a fun game, which leads to the foundation of like, okay, if the game is fun, it plays well, it plays good online. All right, now we can add, you know, we could add this, that, and the third to it and make something good. Like, I'm hoping 22 is good because this is, you know, this is what I have to do. I have to make this stuff work for the community. And if 22 is as bad as 20, it's like, yo, I don't need that extra fucking headache, man. I don't do this shit for me. I do this for people. So it's like, I don't know. Matter of fact, let me ask you: when the content you create, do you do it for yourself? Do you do it for the people? Like what's your motivation? Because I know when you started, you were the comic dude, and you made that pivot. But like, what was your rationale? I guess to create a channel in general.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it a G, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. My whole existence on YouTube started from when I got laid off from work.
Bet.
Yeah, I was looking for a way to make money, and I didn't want to turn to the, you know, the alternatives of what, you know, what we know to do.
Yep.
You know, so I didn't want to go that route. You know, I got kids. I don't want to end up somewhere I ain't supposed to be. I was like, you know what, I'm doing odd jobs here and there. Let me try the YouTube thing. I mean, because we got a lot of potential and we know a lot of things. So it's like, why sit there and go that route when there's other positive ways of making money and getting that bread out there? Chicken is out there. We just got to do it a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? So I said, look, I could talk my way out of a paper bag. You know what I'm saying? So let me put myself in front of this camera, do this and make some bread. You know, it may start off slow. I've been doing a whole bunch of reading on how long it takes to become a YouTuber, to do this and do that. So it all started out with, you know, using what I know to make money. And then after a while, after really getting deep diving into YouTube and all its mechanics, it became a love of just making videos at that point. But I did want to see an outcome, of, you know, financially. Yeah. At first with the whole thing, because like, who buys equipment? Like, for example, you don't do what you do just to do it without anyone hearing it. Even if you're not trying to make money, it's like you don't want to talk to the wind and nobody hears it. You know,
fair.
That
makes
fair. No sense. You know, so at the end of the day, even when I wasn't making no money or whatever the case may be, I just wanted people to check it out. You know, just to see it when I was doing the comic book stuff. And then I had a video that went semi-viral because I predicted who the villain was in that joint. And then from there, it was just like I had my job. I got my job back because they found out they messed up.
Not good.
So everything happens for a reason. Wound up actually paying me more money, but good. That's another story.
that's but, good. As long as you win, is all that really matters at the end of the day.
So then I had this channel now. So it's like I'm back working. I'm doing this, you know, after being laid off for a hot minute. And I'm like, okay, so what am I doing now? Is it for the people or is it for myself? It's kind of a mixture of both. So that's the reason why I said I got to keep it a buck, because I do it for the fans, but I also do it for monetary reasons as well.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because I would love to have this be my only source of income, but I mean, that's a long ways off. But so for now, right now, I purely do it for the love of the fans right now at the moment, to have them, when people say, like, for example, if you reaching out to me, people reaching out online or asking for help and things of that nature, or when they say, yo, I love what you're doing, you know, that means a lot to me. And I know I say it to a lot of people when I put it in the comments, like, that means a lot to me, like, I appreciate it. But it does, because when you create that content and nobody watches it and nobody appreciates it or nobody says anything, you can't really tell whether or not your stuff is being appreciated. Yeah. So you're just making videos and nobody commenting, nobody saying anything. So when people do say that, I go, yo, man, thank you. You know, I'm very humble in that sense, that people even, you know, checking out my stuff, bro. Just, I love it at this point. And at this point, like I said, I do it for the people. You know, I try not to, again, keeping it a G, I try not to stress myself about it neither. That's another thing, because you can make content and be stressed trying to please people. Yeah. Even though, like I said, you don't want to please, you know, you can't please everybody at the same time. You try to, like, I outdo yourself from the last time. Is it better? Is it gonna like it? They're not gonna like it. Then it becomes, but at the end, if it's not fun for you, if you're not having fun, then it's like going to your job. It's just basically you being there, just collecting a check. You know, you also want to do stuff that keeps you happy in the long run. You know, so while it is at the same time about the people, it should be also about you. But yeah, like I said, my motivation right now is definitely the people. And money, I know I'm not gonna make money, crazy money. I learned that the hard way. Crazy money off of what I'm doing right now, so it got to be for the people.
I mean, look, if it makes you feel any better, I let your ad play through whenever I go, because I have 2 browsers. So one browser's for my channel I just started again, and then my current thing, the OCW, which is a fucking long contorted tail. That one always had, I don't have ad blocker, so whenever you join something, I let the ad play. And that's not even talking shit. I'm like, I'm gonna let the ad play. Fuck it. Cause I know like how the stupid algorithm works. So like if the ad plays full, it's like, hey, here's like whatever the fuck they give you. I don't know. Cause my shit, I was on the verge of like, before they changed everything, of actually getting monetized. And then they're like, nah, you gotta have over 1,000 subs. I'm like, fuck. Then you gotta have so many hours. I'm like, fuck. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a fucking grind, bro. It's a fucking grind. Let me say this
for anybody out there that's doing YouTube and on it. It used to be the place for people like us, content creators. It used to be for content creators. Now it's for money on their end, because we don't receive a lot of money for that, and it's not. We don't get pushed like that. Like, there should be a corner of YouTube, I believe, even if they make a separate one, where it's for up and comers, for like people that's on their grind. You know what I'm saying? YouTube should look at, oh, this person uploads videos weekly or daily. They should be promoted here in this section. And then mainstream YouTubers for like all that other stuff, people that's already well established, because people gotta understand something. When you make a video, how do you put a video out in front of people that's doing the exact same thing that you're doing, and millions of videos are coming through the YouTube door? So how do you get your video in front of people? How is that happening if this person's already established and they got 1 million subscribers, 1 million views, people are constantly checking on? How do you get your content in front of them?
I'll tell you how. You got to be like the dudes on Times Square with the CDs. Put that shit in everybody's hand and walk away. That's $10. Like, what the fuck? Nah, that's a sub. What you mean a sub? That's a sub. Sub to my channel, motherfucker. Sub right now. Just put it in your hand. I put it in your hand. Sub.
I always felt that they should have changed the name from sub to something else, because it felt like, you know how we are. Like, I ain't trying to pay money for this. Like, I think the main, when you see the word subscribe, I think that throws people off, and they're like, nah, man, I ain't subscribing to that, fam. Like, I'm not doing that.
I don't know this like, motherfucker subscribe. Like that. I don't know.
I'm not doing that.
I don't know you.
Like, why would I subscribe? Like, how much you, like, what's the catch? You know, and your brain, even though it's free, it's just the whole, we used to the word subscribe meaning something financial, some kind of payment.
You know, they have, just for you saying that, a lot of channels, they have the sub button, which is like you said, and they have the join button, which is literally what you said. Like, you hit that one is the one that they take money from you. I'm like, why is there a join button? I almost hit that shit. Wait a minute. Because the dude starts talking, he's like, oh, and then whatever for. I'm like, I ain't giving you money, motherfucker. I'm taking my sub back. No, get out of my face. Like, there's a sub
really
button.
Switch those around.
It's weird. I saw like, why is there a join button? And it didn't click to me. And then the guy started talking about like, It's maybe like one person I would I guess join to, and even that, fuck that. Nah, that's my money. I ain't giving that shit to nobody.
If I can add this too, for all your listeners and for you included.
Thank you.
Subscribers don't mean nothing. And I'm not saying that your subscribers don't mean nothing. I'm talking about the subscriber count. Let me put it in more clarification. Subscriber count don't mean nothing. That used to mean a thing back in the day. That means nothing. It's all about who's view, because people, if you check the algorithm, or if you check your analytics, more people will watch you than subscribe to you.
Yeah.
So it ain't about at the end of the day, if you're monetized or not monetized, it's about your views. Subscribers really don't mean nothing. It's just it's a nice number for people that care about numbers, or for people that, you know, oh, he ain't got a lot of subscribers. He ain't
shit. He ain't shit. He ain't got a lot of subscribers. He ain't shit.
Right.
That's the infernal conundrum. Yeah. Always with these fucking people.
Yeah, man. People are like that, man. It should be about the content, man. It should really be about the content.
You see how simple it was to get you on? I'm like, hey, I've been a fan. I like what you're doing. Come on. And you're like, all right, cool. Here's the info. Let's, get it done. I've had to like fuck it, and this is not even this endeavor because I have, like I said, I have 2 channels. I have one where it's just like call related and creation related stuff, and then I have another one where I kind of talk to like people. I probably might have you on that one too, like sometime in the future, where I just kind of talk to people in general, and it's just me being more or less the same way. But the amount of hoops for certain people, like there was like one dude wanted money. It's like, you ain't, why the fuck am I give you? No, get out my fucking face. One dude wanted money. One guy was giving me like this weird run around. The other guy was like, oh, I don't know if my market is like basically like, oh, I have so many people that I don't know if coming on your tiny channel. I'm like, yo, suck my dick. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I just want to talk to somebody. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Pause. I don't give a fuck. Like, just like relax yourself. That's because they're not New Yorkers. Right? They're not New Yorkers. That's why. They're not.
No, I'm sorry. I do that sometimes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off while you was talking because I didn't know you was going.
Yeah, when you say I'm sorry, I thought you gonna just pick up the baton. But yeah, like I think it might be a New York thing, or that actually no, it might be a specific area of New York thing because there's people in New York who are very, very sus with themselves, mainly on like the Upper West Side, the Lower East Side. We ain't gonna talk about these kind of people right now. Talking about you right now. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about too. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian now because I go to UCB. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I was a side.
Nah, man, these guys that do that, they forgot what it's. Even if they're successful on YouTube, let me put it that way. Even if you're successful on YouTube, they forgot where they came from. You know what I'm saying? It's you aren't in the position of where you at right now without the people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you get the chance, I always feel like you should give back. My thing is this: it's just like being, even though we ain't. Me and you aren't celebrities per se.
I ain't shit, bro. You probably Spike Lee, and I'm like the dude in who the fuck was in Do the Right Thing? The other guy. I'm Radio Raheem. Fuck that shit.
I'm gonna tell you how you're wrong in that aspect. If I can't say, brother, I'm gonna tell you how you're wrong in that aspect because you're doing something that other people aren't doing. You're actually opening. When you get behind that mic and you make a video, you actually open yourself up to all of this criticism. It's no different than being a celebrity who's outside who chose to be a superstar. Then when they get the fame and fortune, when somebody runs up on them for an autograph, they're like, "Oh, get out my face!" Like you chose that. You cannot get mad when somebody's sitting there trying to reach out to you or trying to talk to you or say something to you. When you chose this lifestyle, you can't go to so you can't go to the bathroom without somebody trying to. Yeah, they just met their idol in the bathroom. Who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't try to take that chance? You know what I'm saying? Even for a second, hey, I don't care. If Michael Jackson come out the store, I want an autograph. I'm right there, fam, with the pen in my hand. Like you know what I'm saying? That's just how you open yourself up to that as a celebrity and somebody who puts themselves as a superstar, who's on TV, comedian, whatever. You put yourself out there, and you should always be willing. Now, I'm not saying always, but you should be making an effort to give back to people.
Well, basically just being normal, like for the most part.
You know what I'm saying? Like
chill.
If I came out the bathroom, if I was in the bathroom, Michael Jackson came out the store, and I was like, "Yo, Mike, I need your autograph." But Mike had a bodyguard that had like a 8x10 autograph photo already ready. Like Mike, like I already know what's gonna happen. Give him the photo. Like I'm gonna take the photo,
just
fam.
Pass it up real quick. I'll take that real quick.
I'll take the photo. You got that, Mike? You have a good one. Make sure you wash your hands.
God bless you, Michael. God bless you.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like people can't be too stuck up when it comes to being on YouTube and things of that nature, because they gotta remember they were once in that spot and how hard it is. That dog eat dog mentality, that needs to definitely go out the window, because people know how hard it is. But everybody always worrying about that one come up, this person coming up on me, or you gonna try to come up, I gotta keep him down. Like my audience, I didn't want to get on your thing because of your market. You don't know who you gonna reach.
Exactly, it's fucking bizarre. Like again, it don't matter what it is I do. It's just that the point was the amount of like weird. It's like it's not that serious. Do you want to have a conversation or not? That's it. All right, no, I'm good. All right, man, take it easy. God bless. That's it. That's it. Like I don't need this.
The guys that's within the CAW community.
There was a couple, but for the most part, most of the CAW community people are like, yes, please. Any kind of exposure. But like
Okay.
the people that I did reach out to, like they have been gems. Like I don't know if you know, like Nick Virtue was a gem. Lance Frisco was a gem. Like these cats, like maybe 2.5 years ago, because I'm not a call community guy. So at one point I was like, I want to learn about this stuff. So I had to go find the people and learn about it. And I learned through them, and I learned to appreciate some things about what they do, like with the highlight reel and then the AI stuff, which is what you do. So I got more and more into call related stuff, even though that's not really my avenue. It's kind of like a subsection of it, because what I do is it's a combination of player versus player created guys, and then trying to run that as a Fed based on competition, and then having the aspect of traditional E-Feds where cats got to write. So thankfully, I don't like my job, along with everybody else, like with staff, with the 4 pillars of staff, the 4 pillars of heaven for and whatnot. Like, I got a guy who books one show, I have a guy who books another show. We kind of all figure out what's what, and then the guys themselves, the actual roster people, they do. I don't have to be like, hey, I have to record your match. Like, they're self-sufficient. So I thank God for them, because if they were lazy fucks like I had back in the day, I would have been gone. The only reason I'm still doing it now is because the people I got help make things smooth, and they help, they do fun stuff, and I like their content. So it's like, oh, good, it works out for me. Thank God, because if it was trash, I'm like, I'm done. I'm peacing out. I'm just gonna go with my other venture, which is talking shit about stuff without knowing stuff, because I'm ignorant, and calling it a day. Because people like that shit too. Because I got out of pocket on a lot of dumb shit, but it's like, these people do the job, so it helps make my life easier. And then on the part of monetization, which we talked about earlier, like for when I first started in like 2004, everything was out of pocket, and then every now and again I have donations. Now with Patreon, these motherfuckers help pay my bills, so I don't gotta look at the bills for the site no more. I'm like, thank God, because that was always out of pocket. And then you would have bums, you would have people who didn't do what they needed to do, and then kind of siphon and leech off you. So now I'm just happy I'm at a place where, with Patreon and Twitch and some the various donations, when we have the donation drives, because I don't be trying to take money from nobody, because when it comes to like my community and money, I'm like, but if it's outside money, I'm like, give me. But if it's like, I'm like, nah, because everybody work and shit like that. So I don't know, man. I'm just happy that I don't got to come out of pocket to pay the utilities for the site and stuff, because that shit was a lot, man. That shit, I think my last count was like maybe 12 grand total over the past 16 years. That's a chunk of change, bro.
Wow.
That's a chunk of change.
Yeah. That's a nice something.
I go
tissues you can buy with that.
Yeah, right. I go to fucking PR, get me a little fucking cabana and call it a day. Fuck out of here with that shit. So I'm good. So all right. So let's go back, because I had some other questions. And I'm gonna try to see, I wrote them down, but I wrote everything in weird what you call order. We talked about like the wrestling games and how, but I was gonna ask if they're gonna affect the type of content you make. But let me see. Yeah, so here's actually a good one. You do a majority of the work for the most part. If I'm correct, you do the majority of work. You do everything, and then you hand it off to somebody else to do like the commentary, and then take me through that process.
I do everything. I'm on commentary.
Oh, you on commentary too? I thought you had somebody doing commentary.
No, I have my friend who just now I reached out to him because he does voiceover work. Yes. And he wanted to get into the voiceover game, and he was the only person that I knew at the time that had a person. I mean, I had a few people. Let me not say that, because if my other friends are listening to them, like, yo, you reached out to me too. I had a couple of friends that I reached out to about this. But one in particular person I reached out to does voiceover work, and was loving the idea. Like, he actually jumped on one of my live videos, saw what I was doing, and got taken by it and was like, yo, I like this. And I said, yo, I do commentary by myself, and most people were like, yo, this would sound better if you had someone else doing commentary with you. But I'm like, yo, you guys don't understand how hard it is just to do this alone. Let enough to find the time and schedule to add someone else into my audio. So I got together with him, and that's my homeboy Raz. Shout out to Raz, who did the commentary with me. So I'm on commentary. So from episode 1 up until whenever CPW ends, I'm always be on. I'm Leeboy, the voice on CPW. I'm the actual lead commentator, and I have my boy Raz, who's gonna be the color commentary. He's like the Bobby Heenan, Paul Heyman, I'm always bigging up the heels. Yeah. Jerry Lawler stuff, you know what I mean? Where I'm more of like Michael Cole, Joey Styles from ECW, where he was the one man commentator. He did everything.
The indifferent one, the guy just kind of steering the ship,
right,
if you will.
Right. I call it, and then the other guy basically fills in. What I told him was when we first was doing it, because he just did one, which was Super Brawl. Summer Brawl.
Yeah.
Summer Brawl. That was his first time doing it, and I gave him a few pointers, because he's a natural funny guy in general. So I just told him, Bobby Heenan, do the Bobby Heenan, Paul Heyman, Jerry Lawler stuff. You big up the heels and the faces, like you reverses, like the faces are the bad guys to you and the heels are the good guys to you. He's like, oh, I already know how that goes. So he was doing it, and I told him that, and I gave him the direction, and he just went off with it, and we just went off that the element of, I feel like when you do wrestling, especially with commentary, because everything I did, I had to learn. I had to learn about commentary. Mm-hmm. Like, some of it is like people do scripted. Some people do scripted. Some people do just off the script. Just let it roll, and I'll go by what's going on in on the screen or in the match. I told him that me being a lead, you ain't got to worry about the names of the moves. You ain't got to worry about the names of the wrestlers, which you should, especially the wrestlers, at least have that. But he wanted to learn everything as much as he can. But me being the lead, basically in commentary, was I would paint the picture. I just need you to color in the lines.
It's a great analogy.
If I paint the pictures, like if I say, oh, he threw him into, like Aaron Awesome did a drop kick off the top rope. All I need you to say is, you can either disagree about the move, you can either comment on the impact of the move. You ain't got to do what I just did. I just called the move. I just need you to emphasize on it. Like, oh, his ribs might be busted open from that. That takes a long time to heal. Start going into details, because I learned that with commentary, a lot of it is telling stories. Some of them don't even call what's going on in the match. They'll call a little bit of the action, but then they start giving you all kinds of story within what's going on or what you're watching. Certain places are actually more meticulous with the commentary as far as the calls. Like they'll call literally everything like they do in football or basketball.
Yeah.
But for the most part, when I learned, especially like the WWE aspect of it, they like to tell stories. They like to give you background history. Like if there's a match with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, they'll bring up Becky Lynch fighting Charlotte from last year and bring that shit all the way up to when she's fighting Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that's the one benefit that it has, and that's like why I enjoy the total package of the, from the presentation to the audio, because like we started doing commentary 2019 or whatever, and the only reason we started because we had a guy who joined, shout out to Jake Allen, my man. Like he actually took time to learn the lore, and then he's like, oh, we should do commentary, but he's like a voice guy or an amateur voice guy. He's not actually a voice person, but like, so he became the voice of the spot, and I'm like the co-chair. I just talk shit. So most of the time, like we bounce, like it's so, that's one of the only reasons that I enjoy what I do now, because we do it once a month for the pay-per-views, because the pay-per-view, we'll do the main event for the show of the week, and then we do the pay-per-view. The main event for the show of the week is a rotating cast. Sometimes the commentary is good, sometimes it's not so good. It is what it is. But the pay-per-view is usually just me and him, and those are legitimately like the best times I have doing this kind of stuff, because we'll just sit there, we'll both I'll get a little bit of bourbon, he gets a little bit of tequila, he's the straight man, and I'm just sitting there. Like most of the time I'll try to like make him laugh, and then he'll write back, kind of pivot it and then bring it right back into the thing like a professional. I'm the one trying to fuck him up on purpose, and because we're just trying to have fun, because fuck it. So yeah. But then certain people, like certain characters, or generally the handler, actually, like if me and the handler, like there's a guy called Spider who's basically like, I call him trash. The reason I call him trash is in Xbox party chat ages ago, he tried to say like he was great, and I'm like, you literally just hung out with the people who are great. You're fucking garbage. And I just tore into him. So that became his gimmick. So he doesn't wear shoes. He's just a piece of garbage. So whenever he does something stupid or whenever he's involved, I just can't have to like talk garbage about him. His family, the way he was raised, he's a horrible human being, and and like people will be on the chat or the Twitch chat, the viewing parts, like, oh shit, like, I just go in. So commentary is an important factor when it comes to these kind of things, and it helps. Like what you have the commentary. Some people do but then you hear it and it kind of sounds, what's a polite word for whack? You got a polite word for whack?
Not so pleasing.
There you go. Not so pleasing. So I'll see some shows and I'll hear the commentary and I'm like, okay, you know, it is what it is. I'm not saying I'm better or worse, whatever. But then
you know what I chopped that up to? I chopped that up to something I saw, because I do a lot of, you see how you do the research on stuff. I do since day one, even back to the superhero stuff. I always was searching on how to be better at YouTube, how to be better at videos, how to be better at whatever. So I'm constantly searching on how to be better at whatever it is I'm into or that I got at the time. I want to be the best that I can at that, and possibly even better. And one of the things I found when it came down to commentary is that I've run into a lot of people that ask me about it, like, yo, I'm gonna do this and that and the third, and they don't have no commentary to their stuff. And I go, well, why don't you add that? They're like, I'm afraid to get behind the mic, the way I sound, I don't like my voice, I don't like this. I'm like, okay, that's nothing wrong with that, but you would never know until you try it, you know what I'm saying? At the same token, nobody comes out the gate sounding nice.
Nope.
You know, you work up to that. You start off, you know, we from New York, we got nothing but rappers here. Like, I rap. You know what I'm saying? Nobody starts off being nice. You got to work at that. Your pen got to get tight, and you know your bars got to get better. Like, you got to really get into it before you you know, really can sit there and get in front of somebody. Like, I bet I'm ready to spit this 16, and I'm good with it. You got to start somewhere. And I always feel like the dudes that are doing it, the core creators are starting out, who say they want commentary in their stuff, but don't do it. I just feel like they're holding themselves back because they fear what people are gonna say about their commentary. Like, oh, that's whack. You're gonna get that, but you just gotta keep working at it. Just keep working at it and watch. Like, I watched videos on certain things that's dealing with commentary, and then I study how they do it in you know, in the real world and stuff like that, and compare that. You know, what I want to do that they don't do. How do I want to do it? Because you could be the play-by-play, you could be the color guy, but if you don't try and don't keep doing it, you're not gonna get it eventually. You know, nobody starts off nice at commentary. It's something that you work towards. If you like somebody right now, anybody that's watching, and their commentary is tight, I dare you to go back to their first time doing it. It's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be as good as their latest stuff because they already perfected it. You know what I mean?
It boils down to things like I agree with you, but then also you might not be the play-by-play guy. You might be the color guy. That's what I found. I found that because I used to do commentary on Twitch for, like, when I do, because what I would do is I would start streaming on Twitch, and then I'll be on the mic, and then you know, one or two shows I'm trying to do commentary, and I'm like, oh my God, son. And then I was like, you know what, fuck this. I turned into Mystery Science Theater, where I'm just basically there, you know, with a beer in my hand, calling up, you know, talking nonsense about what's happening in the ring, or if someone's being stupid, or if someone's being whatever, and then people like that. But then when Jake came in, we actually had commentary. He's the lead guy, you know, so I can bounce off him, he can bounce off me, and I'm good at talking shit, because you New Yorker, you just talk shit. That's all we do. You just talk shit. So I'm good at talking shit. I'm not good at saying, you know, hip lock, waist lock, takedown, but I'm good at, oh, he just hit him right in the sternum, blah, blah. It's hard to breathe. You're having trouble breathing. And if you're having trouble breathing, it's hard to proceed in the match, and or look what happened last week, or look what happened the week before. This guy stinks because 2 weeks ago he said something about our mama, shit like that. Like, you know, it helps. But the point I was trying to make initially is that if you're not good at either, it's okay to delegate. That's what I found helped me in my endeavors, is delegation. I do a lot, but I also delegate to other people, because then, you know, that helps maintain sanity. If you're not good at something and maybe it's not your forte, it's okay to have a basic understanding of it if you need to fill in, but maybe you delegate that. Maybe you go to somebody like, yo, you know, I like your voice. Would you be interested in doing commentary? You never know. So you don't always have to take on you don't always have to be Vince McMahon. Like, what am I over? Whatever. You could just
what am I over?
Yes. Oh,
top it up, down.
my favorite when we got doesn't matter now. Even if like we had a match it was for the season finale of our PlayStation show. We had it was called the Lucha House Rules, I think. I wound up calling it Bermuda Triangle, but for the most part on commentary, I was calling it Lucha Fuck Party. Anyway, there was a part where one of the participants was flexing, so I just go, look at this stage!
Look at this stage!
Look at the muscles! And it just so happens the fucking ref AI starts staring at him while he's flexing, so we just start talking shit about that too. The one AI ref, Ted.
Listen, I love when I have a friend. Shout outs to you, Gabe. Gabe the Gamer. Shout out to you. Also, shout out to your crew, man, for all of that stuff that you just said, to stick by you like that. They definitely deserve kudos. So if your crew is listening, shout out to your crew, man.
Oh, they're listening. They gonna listen. Hopefully some of them subscribe, because I was putting you over in one of the chats. I'm like, yo, I'm interviewing this dude. He's normal. He's fucking from New York. I like his shit. Like, what's his what's his thing? I was like, here it is. Go fucking sub.
Okay.
So I'll be putting that on this as well.
I love when the computer messes up. Like, I do AI versus AI.
Yes.
You know, I love it when they mess up. I love, because people don't like that. Some people don't like to catch the botches and be like, oh man. I do. I actually do. The only time I would cut away is if it's something that I didn't really want in the match. Like, sometimes the ropes sometimes become a bother. If somebody does their special move too close to the ropes, it kind of gets a little glitchy. So sometimes I may cut away from that. But it's a special move. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like to catch the botches. And I like it when the ref gets hit. I love when not the referee, but the wrestlers try to go to the top rope and they like do this continuous run. Or if the referee takes too long to go down and do the clap. I like it because it gives me creative ways to try to come up with why he's doing it. Yeah. Like, for example, if a referee takes too long to, like, he's like the guy goes for a cover. And the referee's standing there, but he goes all the way around them just to go down to do the cover. I start yelling, like, what is the ref doing? Oh my, he's taking a long time to get to the cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, I start doing stuff like that. You know, I start making stuff up. You know, but the surprising thing with that is I have fun with it. I really do. People like, I'm like, yo, I love the botches. When the person go up the top rope and they barely touch them.
It's the best.
She didn't get all that one. Like, you know.
the token line didn't get all of it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like we had the gatekeeper match, which is basically our old head Kelvin, passer from fucking Alabama, and then this new kid. Basically, Kelvin's gimmick is not gimmick. I hate to say the word, but his thing is he takes the rookies when the rookies join. He beats the shit out of them. He's a gatekeeper, so he's been doing it for years. He's been doing it now maybe 14 years. So we have a new gatekeeper now, Tony Touch. So they fought the last our season finale. So during Tony's entrance, the game glitched out and KD is like celebrating, and then at one point he teleports out of the ring and he's standing like in the middle of the air. So now we're talking about breaking space-time continuum because Kelvin is so amped up to beat the shit out of Tony. Everyone's like, what the fuck is happening? And everyone's having a good laugh. Like, oh, fuck it. It's a game. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. You know, it's all good. It's all good. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So I think that's gonna do it for us, because I know you got mad shit to do. So what I wanted to do now is, you have many what you call it, not call outs, you know, shill all of your things. This is your section to shill.
What is a shill, bro?
Oh, shill. Oh, my bad.
Shill.
Shill basically means like say all your fucking avails and stuff, like, oh, all your shit that you do on the Twitters, the Instagrams, the YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. So I promote myself.
Yes,
right,
promote. There you go. I've been hanging around wrestlers too long.
Okay. I'm Leeboy733 on Twitter and Instagram. I do have a Facebook. I go by Leeboy Power on Facebook, but I really don't do Facebook, so you won't get me on there. Best way to contact me is either through Twitter or Instagram, which is at Leeboy733. That's about it. Other than that, you know, my channel is LeeboyTV, where I do call wrestling for my own universe called CPW, Critical Pro Wrestling. I mainly work on the PC version of the game, so if anybody has a call that they would like to be inside of CPW on the PC version, hit me up, let me know, and we'll arrange that.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is LeeboyTV. Follow this motherfucker. Follow all of his things and subscribe to all of his things. Show him the power of the OCW Universe. Ugh.
Clap for your world famous and feel the power.
The power, you motherfuckers, and subscribe. Y'all better subscribe. We did without even trying to brag. So there's a spot that they do. You should probably hit these people up too. EWFed tees or EFed tees. They make, you know, they do t-shirts for people's promotions or whatever or whatever. Right. You could probably do a Critical Pro Wrestling shirt with them. They have like a $5 thing just because they have to whatever. But you can probably do that. And if you have a lot of people, they can, buy merch, buy CPW merch if you want to do it that way. That's what I did. So I had a shirt made with them, right? And then I told my community, like, you motherfuckers need to make us number one, because I'm not going to look like a fucking bitch to these people, all right? And we hit number one. I'm like, you buying all of the fucking shirts, all right? I don't give a fuck. So we hit number one. I think we wound up selling like 18 or 21 shirts or whatever.
That's nice, man. That's nice.
I mean, I got like $1, but whatever. It's not the point. The point is,
yeah.
The point is to show.
You gotta, people ask me all the time, are you gonna move into merch? I said I probably will sooner or later, but at the moment, I want to structure things. But at the same token, it's like you said, you probably made $1. It's the same thing about YouTube. I don't make a lot of money off this, but it's like it's a stepping stone to where you want to be eventually.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in God, and the scriptures does talk about, a man that's righteous over few, is righteous over many. You know what I'm saying? So if you God gave you a little bit, and you're able to work with that little bit that you got, soon when you get that plenty, you're gonna master that.
You're gonna be good with it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're gonna be good. You're definitely gonna be good. If you can't work with a little bit, how you gonna handle much? That's why people be asking for things that they really don't want at the time that they be having it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
You gotta handle that right now.
There you go.
It's a bad chick, and you like, oh man, I want that. You may not be able to handle homegirl.
You might not be able to, and you get clowned on, and then motherfuckers here, and then you get made fun of, and that shit ain't fun.
Yeah,
it's not a good feeling. It's not a great feeling. Not talking about personal experience and that. And I'm just saying. It's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it for us with LeeboyTV. Thank you very much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to his shit. If you're listening and you're from his stuff, be sure to subscribe to my stuff. Speaking of which, you should probably follow me on Twitter, because you talk and you did the voice thing. I was like, oh, are we following each other? No, we're not. But whatever.
I'm definitely gonna do that. Once it's over, I got you.
Yeah, because you're like, I make sure he's not a fucking weirdo. It makes sense. It's a good strategy. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, evening, and all other good shit. Peace out. I want to say thank you for listening to this episode, and thanks for Leeboy for coming on to the stage and chit chatting. If you would also like to be a guest, by all means, hit us up on social media at OCWFed on Twitter and on Instagram as well at OCWFed, or on YouTube, OCWFedTV, or even on the good old-fashioned emails at OCWFed@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest, you want to talk about your business, by all means, come on down. Let's have a chit-chat, have a grand old time. So thank you very much, and be sure, if you enjoyed this episode, to tell your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the hell you use. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe on YouTube, and to leave a nice rating on Apple Podcasts, which we'll be putting this on Apple Podcasts now. We're being fancy. All right? Thank you so much. Have a great night. God bless, and all that other good stuff. Take it easy.